Okay guys, so today I am doing part 2 of my forge assembly. I did, without getting it on film, I did the second coat of the refractory mortar, so that is on. Right now I don't see any cracks. There might be a couple hairlines. But I did the second coat off camera. It was just real quick and easy. I did a few bricks where I did coating, where I will use these as a heat shield, try and keep some of the heat in when I'm forging. So I've got my spot here all done. On the back here I've got the 2 bricks, a brick holding. Okay, my camera turned off for some reason. But like anyway, I was saying, I've got bricks for the back, the brick that'll hold them in place. So I've got the tubes in. It says to leave them a 3/4 of an inch up from the tube passageway here. So I put a mark on them so that they're 3/4 of an inch up. Got the collars on. Those will have to be adjusted once I've got the gas going. It does say to just fire it for like 40 or so seconds to begin with. So we'll do a couple heat cycles when I've got that all put together. But I just wanted to give you a quick view. I've got my anvil stand built. It is 4 4x6s. Lag bolted and all thread bolted together. It's 2 feet in the ground with concrete. I've got my 80, I bought it as an 88-pound anvil. I weighed it, it's 84.2, so 84-pound anvil. I've got it bolted down with I did some caulk underneath, used some rod that I drilled. I've got it bolted down so that's solid. I got a brick tabletop for the forge, and I left enough room for a second forge. I'd probably like to have either a smaller one or a bigger one in the future, something to play with a little more. My son also bought a foundry for melting metals, so I built a brick tabletop area for that, so we might play with that a little bit. And then I've got my vise and stand built. This is 2x6s with blocks in between, concreted into the ground 2 feet down, and got it all bolted down. I didn't have any big metal pipe or posts or anything to concrete in, so I did it with 2x6. Hopefully that all holds up. We'll find out over time. But that's the quick setup, little tour. And so I'm going to get this assembled. I am adding to the fuel system of the forge a 0 to 30 liquid filled gauge. So I am building my own T with the barbs to put that on. It came with a 0 to 30 regulator, the Y, and the hoses, and to connect everything from the forge, the burners, down to the propane tank. So I'm going to get that assembled. I hung some wires. I want to be able to support my fuel system from the burners back to the propane tank, keeping it up away from the heat. I don't want anything to fall down, get burnt, melt, anything like that. And I also installed a fan in my ceiling so that I can blow cold air or cooler air over the top of my forge. All this is metal, tin. I made a back wall that's back set from my back wall to let the forge breathe. Hopefully any dragon's breath, you know, did that all in metal and tin to keep things back far enough so nothing burns. And I left a vent system on the back here. This is gapped so that I've got kind of a chimney effect here in the back. So that's what I've been busy getting all this stuff set up. And on the forge, I let everything dry. It's probably been 2 weeks since the last video, so this is all dry. I just got to cure it. And so let's get the propane lines put together and get this torched off. And just for your information, I'm working, you know, with propane, so I am using a pipe joint compound. I found this one time at a hardware store. I've never seen it since, but it's kind of like a black tar, works great for fuel. And then I am using the yellow fuel rated Teflon tape. So hopefully everything will be safe and good to go. Okay, so I'm putting a little bit of my pipe dope, a little bit of the goop on the fittings. Just trying to keep everything tight. Don't want any leaks. Okay, and using a multiple screwdriver as my nut driver. I like to do that to get my oh boy, and that doesn't even fit those ones. Well, I have to come up with plan B, but I like to use a little wrench or something on these, usually a nut driver, to make sure I get them tight enough. Alright guys, so got the first Y in. Got a piece of tube measured to put my gauge back here where I can support it before dropping down to the tank. And by the end of the video, I'm probably gonna have a lot more black on my fingers. This stuff is like tar. It just gets on everything. But it works really well. Let's see. I'm gonna grab that with some channel locks. Just don't want anything to break on me. Okay. A little bit of wind picking up. That's a black goop. Alright, that should let me see my pressure gauge. Definitely getting some wind. Here we are, propane tank, fittings connected. Come up to the gauge so that I can be consistent with how much pressure I'm going to feed into the burners. Front burner is always on, the back burner is optional, but it does say if you're only using one burner, remove the other, because these are like chimneys and the heat will come out and could melt the hose. So in the future I'll probably switch these out to metal flex fittings, hoses, but for today that just didn't happen. So I'm gonna go clean up and we'll come back and see if we can fire this off. Alright guys, so burner tubes are in. Got everything tight. I double checked all my fittings. Everything looks good. So let's see if we can do about a 40-second burn and start getting this cured and see how it goes. Cycle. Alright guys, so I'm gonna let that cool for, I don't know, 5 or 10 minutes and we'll do it again. But just want to get it warmed up and we gotta get everything cured, dried out, and get any of the moisture out. So we'll just do a few more cycles. Alright, let's do another curing run here. Okay, I think I'm still seeing some steam, so just got to do a couple more till I stop getting any steam. Maybe I'll do the next one with the lights off and we'll see how it looks. Alright, one more cure. Throw a little metal in. I just want to see how it eats. getting some heat. Oh yeah. Okay guys, that's probably the last time I'm gonna film the curing of it, but you get the idea. And I think I've got a forge that's all set up and ready to go.